Anyway, so chemo day 10 is again glamorous. I guess who knows, maybe it was the adrenaline from the from trying to figure out how to address the anonymous comment yesterday or the other day was enough to kind of kick things in. Nausea is finally gone. I was able to actually eat dinner last night, which was good. And no, I'm not fasting. But I was able to keep a whole meal down, which is yay, very exciting. Um, I am feeling a lot better. Again, whatever the chill is in the air, it's still there. So every once in a while, I get these shooting pains in the joints. But other than that, I'm feeling okay. I've noticed a little bit of skin sensitivity. Unfortunately, I actually have to return a wig because it had fringy bangs over here and it was itching a little too much. Um, but other than that, feeling better. Strange thing to be reflecting on the last year when you're going through this. Um, and you think about the Unitana Tokef, where which is the part of the Yom Kippur service for Jews, where we hear the whole notion of who will die by fire, who will die by water, who will do this and who will do that. Basically, who will suffer what by what. And every year there's always been somebody that you've known or loved that has died or has fallen ill that you always feel, well, they didn't deserve that. And then when you realize, oh my gosh, when they do the refuah shlema, or the mishaberach, the prayers for the sick, and your names may be out there, you're like, whoa, that's kind of weird. And whoa, I'm okay. I'm suffering by cancer. Oh my gosh, now it's me. It's a little weird to kind of see yourself in that light. And I think one of the strange things with cancer is that you're told you have the diagnosis, and you go through the surgery and you go through everything else, but there are certain points you just, at least for me, what I've found is that I've just mechanically gone through it. It's like, okay, yeah, I've got cancer. Oh my God. Shock moment, done. Moving on. What's next? What's next? I'm kind of, President Bartlett from West Wing is one of my favorite characters in entertainment all time. And his phrase, what's next, has always been kind of a mantra anyway. But certainly through this, it's like, okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? And for me, and if you're following the blog on blogs.com, it's breastcancer.lovehuds.blogs.com. You'll see through my story, it moves pretty quickly from when I was tested and diagnosed through when I started treatment, and even now. For others, it doesn't move that quickly. And I think there are pros and cons to both. One of the pros to do, my stance on it is, and maybe it's the extroverted, petulant child in me, I like instant gratification. So, for me, it's like taking off a Band-Aid. Just rip it off. Let's get it over with. Just get it done. For others, they need to absorb it. I think the problem for me is that if it's, and even with my own diagnosis, where I'm kind of like left waiting, and for me, it may only be an extra day, and it'll seem like an eternity to me, is that if you have time to let it linger and you're not constantly moving forward, then it registers, and then you start thinking about it, and you start obsessing about it, and then it starts eating away at you, and that's just bad for me, because that sends me spiraling down. For me, I had to just keep moving forward and say, okay, just get it done. Just let's move. Okay, fine, let's get that done. The danger, of course, is that at some point it comes back to haunt you, and then you kind of say, wait, what just happened? You step in and say, whoa. I know after my double mastectomy, it's a pretty radical procedure, even with the immediate reconstruction. Fortunately, there was a lot of swelling also, so it was deceptive. But I know the first time that I saw the bandages, I was like, whoa, where'd my boobs go? They're not quite right anymore. But it registers in strange ways. That's for sure. And I think, even the chemo, yeah, okay, I was throwing up that it kind of registered then, but still, I still have my hair. You know, I'm right now, I'm looking myself through the webcam screen, and I look like me, like I'm about to go out. Um, you know, in a week, I'm going to be shaving my head at the Live Strong Challenge because I know I'm going to be losing my hair by the end of October, and you know, I'm not going to let cancer just take my hair in clumps and break me down. I'm going to take charge and cut it myself. And I know I'm going to be bawling like a baby, I assure you. But I think that's when it's going to register. And then I'm going through chemo. You know, not actually going through chemo, not actually seeing the needle in my hand. That's not when it registers. It registers when you lose the hair. So, you know, like I said, there are pros and cons to moving fast. There are pros and cons to doing it quietly. There are pros and cons to doing it loudly. And, you know, you just have to, I think our burden as cancer fighters is to figure out what's the right path for us. What is not only the truest to who we are, you know, you kind of can't, my stance on it is that you can't let cancer strip you of who you are. It's going to try. It's definitely going to try. But resist it, fight it. Don't let it. You know, it's kind of like an abusive relationship. If your husband is beating you down and isolating you from friends and degrading you and taking away everything that you've worked hard for, it's time to cut them out. And you know, I kind of see this as a bitter divorce battle between me and the cancer. And there are going to be sacrifices along the way. But the whole idea is that you preserve your identity, you preserve who you are. You don't let it take you. And yeah, there are going to be moments where it's going to really beat the crap out of you. You know, you're going to be a shell of yourself at times. But the thing is, you need to stay strong enough to know that there is going to be another side. There's going to be a time without this cancer in your life. And you'll have the opportunity to reclaim your life and maybe even make it better for yourself, and find out that you are a lot stronger than you thought you were, and you'll come out the other side stronger. I think, yeah, there are a lot of people who don't. There are a lot of people who don't maintain that strength and get lost in the depression of the disease, that, you know, the depression that the disease causes, and you've got to fight through that. And it's tragic when that happens. And I think for those of you who are following this blog or following my story that aren't actually the cancer survivors or the supporters, you know, you can't force it, but you need to do what you can to try and help that person around it and understand they're going to get angry, and they're going to get angry at you, simply because you're there. Because they can't yell at the cells that are eating away at their body. They can't yell at the chemo that is running through their veins. They can't yell at the scalpel that is cutting out their breasts. They can't yell at anybody else. They can't get angry at anybody else. You're there. And they're going to snap at you about the stupidest things. And all you can do, you know, honestly, take it. Yeah, you can fight back and say, you're not, I know, you know, is it that you're mad at me, or is it that you're mad at cancer? And if they say, yes, it is that I'm mad at you, then just take it. Just take it. Give them a lot of slack right now, because there's a lot of anger and depression that goes along with this disease. And you just, if you're there for the long haul, you need to accept the fact that you may bear the brunt of that. But also know there's another side on the other side too. The good news is, if that person is getting angry, they're fighting. And that's what you have to encourage. If they're getting angry, they're fighting. And it may, in that moment, they may be fighting you, but know that in the cancer fighter's eyes, it may also be the cancer that they're fighting as well. You just may be caught in the crossfire. Okay? Anyway, so that's today's blog. I know they're both long. Sorry about that. So, chemo day 9. That's where we're at. Bye.